Hey y'all, it's Burgess Taylor, and today we're going to talk about a few things in the coffee chat. The first thing we're going to talk about is the bullet journal. I talked about at the end of February, or maybe the very beginning of March, that March was kind of going to be a sort of kind of one book July thing, because I've got an insert out of it right now, but because I'm using the standard Midori or Traveler's Company. This one is a Traveler's Company. I didn't get it when it was Midori, but I'm using this and I'm carrying it around with me everywhere, in the house, in the studio, when I go places. I've been using the bullet journal method in an insert in the Traveler's Notebook. I've talked about it. From the moment that we wake up in the morning, we get to choose our perspective. We get to choose what we're going to do. The humdrum of daily repetition can sometimes make it really easy to slip into autopilot. However, if we're willing to give ourselves a bit of grace and a gentle shake, become truly awake to the day's possibilities, we can instead notice all the goodness that's actually hiding in plain sight. And then every day starts to look and feel a lot more meaningful. And I think for me, the bullet journal helps do that. It really does help do that. Journaling helps do that. I'm writing my own story. I'm documenting, I should say, my own story within the pages of my bullet journal, my planner, journals. And sometimes I feel like there are missing pieces, there are plot holes. And as an avid reader and writer, there's nothing more frustrating than a giant plot hole. And yet, as I've been going through the daily pages and the weekly in the bullet journal and reviewing things and reflecting on things, I'm finding that I'm better able to close those holes by doing a tiny bit of rapid logging, by doing some journaling. I'm documenting things in different ways depending on what I'm documenting. And we'll get into that more in some more videos. But for now, I've been carrying around this standard Midori Traveler's Company notebook. Within the pages of this, I have an insert that has all 12 months in it, plus some notes and other things. I've shown this. It came from Rock Your Notebook. She has a shop on Etsy and a website, rockyournotebook.com. I have an insert with 160 pages of Tomoe River paper. It's dot grid. It's about 4mm maybe. It's a smaller grid than like the B6stology, which I think is 5mm. It's slightly bigger than the Hobonichi. That's my bullet journal inserts where I put my dailies and weeklies and things like that. And then I have an insert that has blank Tomoe River paper in it that is for my journaling. This insert came from elsewhere, the journaling insert. But what I'm finding is because I'm bringing this with me wherever I go, the 1 month Bujo challenge, I watched a video by Sylvia with a plan. I have to think about it because she changed the name of her channel, and so it's Sylvia with a plan. And I was watching her video this morning and decided to do the coffee chat about this because what she was saying really resonated with me. One of the things that she said, hold on.
Brave enough to try it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll just be very boring and every day it's going to be Ryder Carroll style, and that is perfectly fine.
Every day may be boring Ryder Carroll style, and that's perfectly fine. I don't think that minimal is boring in a way. I think that minimal is interesting and it's very functional. However, sometimes pretty and creative can be too much. Sometimes, for me anyway, there's such a thing as too much, and then there's such a thing as too little. So I've had to find a happy medium, and one of the things that I've been doing on and off since last year's One Book July is finding that happy medium with the bullet journal. I've changed sizes, I've changed notebooks, I've went to inserts, I've gone all different kinds of routes, a bound book, the Hobonichi. I've tried any number of things, and I keep going back to the standard, and I keep going back to inserts because it makes more sense to me. 2, it's lighter and it's easier, and I can have all in one, the sort of one book to rule them all, if you will. And I like Sylvia's plan. I am pretty much one of those hybrid kind of people. I've done the pretty bullet journal. I've done the creative bullet journal. I'm still creative in my bullet journal, but my dailies, I don't really add a whole lot of stuff until towards the end. Like yesterday, I put a laundry sticker. I drew a little green coffee cup because yesterday was when I did the coffee chat for Patreon and YouTube memberships. Today, I'm doing a coffee chat here, so I will most likely in a little corner somewhere towards the middle to the end of the day draw a little coffee cup. Sylvia's video led me down a rabbit hole of noticing some of the plot holes in my own story within the pages of my planners and my journals. I think like I said, our planners and our journals are bits and pieces of our story. Now, some of us don't keep our planner inserts or pages or notebooks or whatever. Some of us do. I tend to keep my stuff. Sometimes I don't, but for the most part, I do. I don't keep my big monthly calendar that goes on the wall. I don't necessarily keep calendars, like the insert for the calendar, I won't really keep. Unless I put pictures in it, I won't really keep it. After about 6 months to a year or whatever, I'll toss it. Figuring out what really works for me has been an ongoing thing. It's been a work in progress. I think this has been the best system so far because it uses my core system, which is a calendar and a list, a running list. Since I've been changing up how I phrase and look at the list, that to-do list or that task list, and changing it up to my focus list, it's been helping me because with ADHD comes a lot of things. And for me, if I have too many to-dos, then I feel overwhelmed. If I don't have things written out, then I can get stressed out because I know there are bits and pieces of things that I need to get done, but I'll forget. If I don't write down, say I put something somewhere to keep and I don't write it down, then it may be 6 months or a year or 3 years before I finally find it again. I hide things so well and then I forget about them. Rapid logging and keeping up with things has been really easy in this. It's the format of the standard, the way that it's made. It's longer, slimmer than the A5. To me, it's more list friendly. I don't have as much space, so I'm not wasting space like I was in the A5. And when I document my creativity, I'm adding more creative bits, pictures of things that I've done during the day, a picture of something that I posted on Instagram or in my Facebook group. But it's been eye-opening to me because my core system for the longest time was just a calendar and a to-do list. A running to-do list. I would start out my month with the most important things that I knew I needed to get done that month. And then I would go down the list and add. I would have a task down and then I would put dots, and those would be those tasks that went with that actionable steps. Not only has the standard been working really well for me, but the way that I've set it up has been working so well that I'm finding that I'm actually keeping up with things better. Since I'm happy with the bulk of my setups, maybe this 1 month challenge, since this is something I was thinking about at the beginning of March, since I'm back in this, I don't know that I'll be doing videos every day. I'm doing Patreon and YouTube memberships. I'm trying to get back into writing on a regular basis. I want to do blog posts whenever I do videos for YouTube. And then eventually my goal is to start writing on the blog every day. Eventually. More of a behind the scenes stuff. That's what I think it really is about the blog, is sort of behind the scenes. That's one of the things that I think has been really resonating with me, is how things are working together. And part of it is reflecting. It's going back daily and reviewing and reflecting on things, which is part of Writer Carol's system, but it's not something I've been doing on a regular, consistent basis. I have been doing it, but I haven't been as consistent with it, and now I'm being more consistent with it, and that's really helping. Yesterday's coffee chat for Patreon and for YouTube membership was about what drives our creativity and how we can boost it. And part of what drives my creativity is part of what's really working right now in the bullet journal system, and that's remembering to, one, allow myself grace. It's difficult, I think, sometimes when we're creative on a regular basis, when you're a content creator, like these coffee chats. I feel sometimes like my coffee chats are a bit redundant because I've done the same topic quite a few times. However, because I'm changing as I evolve and grow as a person, my opinions and thoughts are changing. So hopefully the videos improve. Hopefully as I grow and evolve, you can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. I can see an improvement. And the bullet journal is adding to said improvement. Finding that perspective that works for me. Finding a way to take the daily repetition of things that I need, along with the creativity that I need, and yet not overwhelming myself with things, easing instead my stress level and my anxiety, helping myself focus better has been the part of the job of the bullet journal. And I can understand why, as someone with ADHD, Ryder Carroll's method works so well for so many people. Now, for some people, the issue of drawing out the calendars and things like that is an issue. I used to enjoy that. I used to be creative with it. Like I said, I would do the pretty bullet journal thing. I'm not drawing out calendars anymore. That's what the insert with the monthly calendars is for. I do decorate my insert with a little bit of washi tape and maybe a sticker here or there. I am documenting weeklies. The first week in here, I didn't make it like really pretty. I used a marker and some washi tape. This week, I decorated it. I showed that video with some of the stickers that I created from my own PDFs that I made for Patreon and for the YouTube membership. Do I have to decorate? No. Do I enjoy it? Sometimes. I like to track the weather and I like to track how I spent my day. And the bullet journal helps me figure that out without trying to do all that time tracking, which I'm not going to do. I'm not good at. Sylvia's video inspired me, and I'm going to be doing more videos about the bullet journal. I'm going to do a video about the Hobonichi and how I'm using it, the Hobonichi A6, as well as my journal insert and how I'm using that. More to come. I'm going to be participating in Sylvia's 1 month Bujo challenge. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'll be doing videos every day, posting videos every day, but I am going to film a bit every day, or at least try to. And if I do the videos every day, they'll be really short. Don't want to overwhelm myself. Hey y'all, it's my after coffee. It's my after lunch coffee. I filmed the video this morning and I wasn't sure what to do with the end. So I waited until I got through the editing of the video to make sure that I didn't miss anything and that I covered everything. I'm going to try to do process videos with a voiceover and then explain things in real time. Simply because I don't do well with creating and talking at the same time. I am a chatterbox. I know that if I don't sort of rein some of that in, then you'll have a hard time kind of following all the rambly bits and the squirrels. Yeah, you know. Like I said, I'm going to film some process videos where I plan out things and then I'll do a voiceover and I'll talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then I will actually do some real-time videos where I'm doing things or talking about something I've already done, or I'm reflecting and reviewing, and we'll do that. Because right now I'm in a good place because it is all coming together. Over the past few years, I've been playing around a lot with the bullet journal. I've tried functional, completely minimalist, and I always end up being creative in it. I always end up doodling coffee cups or something. I tried being completely all out, pretty bujo, you know, and I am creative in other aspects, so sometimes it gets really tiring to be doing things all the time, coming up with themes. And themes are great, and I usually base my themes off of the season and things like that. My bullet journal is not where I want to have the bulk of my creativity. I like sketching and documenting my day and journaling, and that's not my bullet journal. I'm just creative everywhere. So my bullet journal ends up being more creative. I'm okay with that. I like that sort of hybrid where I can be creative in it if I want to, but I don't feel like I have to come up with a theme every single thing. I'm going to continue with the bullet journal, and I will be back with another video. If you'd like to join, I'm going to leave the link below to Sylvia's video where she makes the announcement about the challenge, and she's got a playlist, and I will leave the hashtag below as well. I hope that you'll join. I'm going to be finding something to take a picture of in my bullet journal to post to Instagram so that people know the video's out. And I'm going to be working on my blog post. And I've got some journaling to do because part of what I quoted and I added in my own stuff was from a magazine called Magnolia. And this is what the actual quote says, just so, I'm give credit where credit's due. From the moment we wake in the morning, we get to choose our perspective. The humdrum of daily repetition can make it easy to slip into the lull of autopilot. But if we are willing to give ourselves a gentle little shake, to become truly awake to the day's possibilities, we can instead notice all the goodness hiding in plain sight. And suddenly, the everyday will start to look and feel a lot more meaningful. This is very true in a lot of ways, and that's what I'm feeling. I feel like finding the meaning in the mundane has to do with more things than just our documenting our day or our life. I tend to put a lot of meaning in those little moments, in the mundane things, making those mundane magical, making the ordinary extraordinary kind of thing. But I also feel like doing that with our everyday life, with our plans, with the to-dos, with things like that. A lot of things that we are doing now, we before took for granted. Before March of last year, over this whole year, some of the things that we were able to get out and do, we took for granted. And I think a lot of us are taking less things for granted now. And I don't like autopilot. I like to choose and be in the moment and present. And that's a mindset that I'm working on more and more. Less autopilot, more in the here and now and being present. Cultivating all those good things, y'all. Cultivating. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.